welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a concept that I think so many of us feel but maybe don't have the words for. It's that feeling when your life just starts to feel, well, a bit too small for you.
That's the exact phrase, isn't it? Too small.
Hmm.
And that feeling, that's the signal. Our source material today really frames this as a fundamental misalignment.
Right, not just a bad mood, but a sign that who you are isn't working anymore.
Exactly.
So we've got a really powerful blueprint to go through today. It's a 6-step process for making a quiet, deep, and fundamental shift in who you are.
And the mission really is to unpack the mechanics of it.
Yeah, to give you a functional map, because the source promises this is how you become the version of yourself you were, and I'm quoting here, always meant to be.
And we have to start by just, resetting our expectations. Because the first thing the material does is challenge this huge misconception about what reinvention even is.
Okay, what's that?
That it's about changing who you are, all this effort and force. But this blueprint says no. It's not about changing, it's about remembering.
Remembering.
Yeah. It's about shedding all the stuff that isn't you to get back to who you were supposed to be all along. So it's a shift from external effort to internal alignment.
Which is a perfect lead-in to step one. And it's dramatic, but it's essential. You have to, quote, let the old version of you die.
It sounds a bit theatrical, I know. But operationally, it's a necessary psychological break. The source calls that old self expired.
Expired. Well.
Yeah. Something you have to grieve, thank for its service, and then release. We need to be really clear about what this dead energy actually is.
And the source material doesn't leave that vague, does it? It gets specific.
No, it's very specific.
It defines this dead energy as, well, patterns. Like the girl who tolerated disrespect, or the part of you that kept shrinking to make other people comfortable.
Or the one who kept making herself available to people who were completely unavailable.
Right, that's the baggage.
That is the baggage. And you just can't move forward with it. These aren't just habits. They're tied to people, to situations. This death is really an internal severing of those ties before you can even think about building something new.
You can't become your higher self while dragging all of that behind you.
You just can't. Okay, so once that heavy lifting is done, we get to what feels like the absolute core of this entire blueprint. Step 2, identity over action. This is the pivotal insight. This is where most people fail because they start with the actions. They try to brute force a new life.
The gym at 5 a.m., the new diet, the journaling.
All of it. They're trying to do their way into a new life.
But the material is so firm on this point. It says you can't change your life until you change your identity.
And that shift, that deep internal work, it happens through asking different questions.
So you stop asking, what should I do today?
And you start asking, what version of me am I stepping into? And you have to get really clear, what does she believe about herself? How does she show up?
And critically, what does she no longer tolerate?
That's maybe the most important one.
So how do you actually do that without it feeling like you're just, faking it? What does she believe? That's a big question.
It is, but it's about defining your non-negotiables. So, for example, if the old you believed deep down that you needed someone else's approval to feel okay, the new identity has to operate from a core belief that you are inherently worthy, full stop. The moment you make that cognitive switch, the actions like setting a boundary, they stop feeling hard.
They just feel logical.
Exactly. It's just what someone with that belief would do. The habits become automatic because they're an expression of who you are.
Not just another chore on your to-do list.
Precisely. You stop needing to force discipline because you become a disciplined person. It's a total game changer. And to build that new identity, you need to protect it. Which brings us right to step 3. Cut the noise. Cut the old pathways. And the tool for this is silence. Radical silence. This is so critical. The source is very clear. No big announcements. No, I'm on a new journey. Posts on social media. No speeches to your friends.
You just disappear.
You disappear. Not to hide, but to listen, to observe yourself, to unlearn all the old knee-jerk reactions.
It's a strategic retreat.
It is. And you're actively pruning the connections that kept that old self alive, so you stop answering the messages that drain your battery.
You stop going to the places that keep you stuck.
And, this one is tough, you stop entertaining the versions of people who only knew the old you.
And the source gives you permission here. It says, you're not rude, you're evolving.
That's the permission slip. You need that quiet space to let the new identity take root without people questioning it or trying to pull you back. Okay, so you've created this quiet space. The new identity is defined. Then you start acting. That's step 4. building new habits like a blueprint. Yes, but here's the crucial constraint. The source insists. Pick only 3 habits.
Just 3. That seems low if you're reinventing your whole life.
It seems low, but it's about focus. It's about compounding effort. If you try to do 10 new things, you'll master none of them. Pick 3 that are aligned with the new identity.
So what are some examples?
The source gives some great foundational ones. Daily movement, reading for just 10 minutes, working on a specific skill, journaling, waking up at the same time every day. Okay, so if my new identity is, say, a writer who respects her craft, my 3 habits might be: write for 15 minutes, read a chapter of a book, and go to bed at the same time. Perfect. Those aren't just tasks. They are daily votes for that new identity. And the promise is, when you master those 3, everything else just starts to fall into place.
Discipline becomes your new love language. I love that line.
It's a powerful way to frame it. It's not punishment. It's an act of self-respect.
This all leads right into step 5, which the source explicitly says is the part that almost nobody can handle.
Yeah, this is the hard part for a lot of people.
Level up quietly.
This is different from the silence in step 3. That was about building. This is about what you do when you start succeeding, when the glow-up is happening.
The temptation to post about it must be huge. The look at me now.
It's immense. You want that external validation.
So why is that so dangerous to the process? You've done the work. Why not share it?
Because if you need other people's applause to feel like it's real, you're still outsourcing your self-worth. You're tethering your new identity to something you can't control.
And if the likes and comments stop?
Your new identity starts to feel shaky. The source gives you a 3-part shield here. Silence protects your growth. Mystery protects your peace. And privacy protects your power.
You're confirming the identity internally first, before you present it to the world.
You let the results speak for themselves. You let people notice on their own. And the source says, trust me, they will.
And when they do, you arrive at the final step. Step 6.
Yep.
The moment you realize you're just there. You've stepped fully into the new self.
This is the payoff. And the funny thing is, the signs you're there are more about what you've stopped doing.
You don't chase anymore.
Nope.
You don't beg for attention. You don't over-explain yourself.
You don't shrink anymore. All those old patterns, all that exhausting work, it just sort of withers away because you stopped feeding it.
And you realize you've become the person you used to daydream about.
And not because you faked it, but because you finally systematically chose yourself. It's about achieving that perpetual alignment.
So the whole thing is really a decision, one you make every single day. The refusal to go back to the version of you that just wasn't aligned.
That's it. It's a cycle. You choose the identity, you protect it with silence, and you affirm it with a few core habits.
So if you're out there and you feel that pull, that your current life is too small, maybe take the advice here. Close the door gently, walk away from the noise, and let your new chapter begin. In silence. And as you think about all this idea that the better version of you is already there, just waiting, ask yourself one very specific question this week. Thinking about step 1. What is one specific draining thing, a text thread, a person, a place, that dead energy that you are refusing to let go of today? What one thing is actively holding back the person you were always meant to be? Just think about that one cut you could make.